What up, guys, and welcome back to Summer Lunch Break. Today, we sit down with the badass and beautiful Meagan Ethell. Meagan shares what it was like having wakeboarding become her world at such a young age, as well as how she feels about being a female rider in a male-dominant industry. She is one of the fiercest competitors in the game and isn't slowing down anytime soon. We also get to hear her message to female riders everywhere and her answers to not one, but two special guest questions. If you've ever wondered how Guenther got out of the friend zone, be sure to tune in to hear Meagan's side of the story. Here we go. It's Meagan Ethell.
You know what I'm really scared about is if the wakeboarders get too close to shore, they may use some people on the shore as bonking items.
Thank you for joining us today.
No worries. Excited to be here.
We are so glad to have you. We're going to just roll through some questions. Most important question of the day is either what you had for lunch or what you're having for lunch with us now.
Oh, well, currently drinking a Red Bull. But I had some tacos for lunch, so
very nice, very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of past lunchtime here, but now I'm just kind of sipping on that midday.
Got to get the caffeine in there again.
Just to power through the rest of the day.
Love it. Okay. Well, I know I was excited to ask you about what you had because I follow you on Instagram and you're always chefing up some stuff. So I was like, dang, like you probably had something good today.
Yeah, I really do love to cook. That's been one of my, I guess, like hobbies, but it's also like a part of my lifestyle as well.
Totally. Yeah.
And I love making healthy meals, especially being an athlete. It's like such a good combo.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's really fun for me as well.
I like to cook too, especially like when quarantine hit and stuff too. I was like, I guess I'm gonna become a 5-star chef.
Especially with spending a lot of time at home.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we want to get your backstory. I like to ask everyone kind of where they started, what their first wakeboarding experience was like. So please tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm from Illinois originally, and a lot of people actually don't know that. But my family had a lake house in Michigan, and that's where I tried wakeboarding for the first time. And then after that, I started doing lessons at this place called the Borderline, and it's a little wakeboard school, and that's how I really got into it. And then maybe like a year or two later, I came down to Orlando for the first time, and I competed in, I think, nationals or a contest at OWC, but that's really how I guess like started getting into the industry.
Totally.
Probably when I was around 10 years old. That's when I came to Orlando for the first time, but I started wakeboarding when I was 8.
Gotcha. Was it when do you remember your first time like getting up on a wakeboard and riding? Do you have any sort of like memory of that?
Yeah, I do. So at our lake house in Michigan, we had a wakeboard sitting kind of randomly in there, and I asked my dad one day if I could try wakeboarding, and he said yeah. So we just went out on the boat, I think that same day, and I tried wakeboarding, and I actually got up my first try, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Awesome. That's so cool. You mentioned traveling to Orlando and competing, for your first time. You were 10 years old when you competed for the first time?
I think so. I feel like it gets a little blurry trying
to
think about the year, the ages, but I would say around 10.
Yeah. Do you remember the first competition you took first place in?
Honestly, not really. I think it probably was in like the girls division.
Yeah.
But I remember the first event that I won as a pro rider, but
Nice.
I don't think I remember my first ever win.
Okay. What was the first event as a pro rider that you won?
It was Weight Games. I don't know if
Gotcha.
you guys remember that, but it was a cool contest they had in Orlando at OWC. And yeah, I won, and that was really exciting for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another question I have about just growing up and maybe kind of taking to wakeboarding the way that you did, do you ever feel like you maybe missed out on some like regular kid stuff because wakeboarding has been so prominent in your life from such a young age?
I would definitely say yes. Yeah, that's definitely a weird one because I got to do a lot of cool things as a kid. I got to like travel to cool places, and I got to be a part of a really cool industry. But I would say like more of your traditional things. Like I missed a lot of school. Like moving to Orlando, I missed a lot of my friends as well, and but overall, like I still went to normal school. I still had a lot of friends. I still feel like I got a good like childhood experience and even high school experience as well.
Good. That's good. Do you
Yeah.
have any you like outside of wakeboarding? Because I know it is a big part of your life, but everybody's got their things that they like to do that aren't, what they're most passionate about. Do you have any kind of hobbies that you really like to do outside of wakeboarding?
Yeah. I mean, we still spend a lot of time on the boat, whether like we're wakeboarding or not. Like we've been really into foiling lately. But I usually hang out with my friends a lot, and we go to the beach sometimes and go surfing, and we just try to do a lot of stuff outdoors when we can.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. It's good. Outdoors is my favorite place to be. So
Yeah.
I feel that. We're going to jump into a little bit different category now because you are the first girl that we're interviewing for summer lunch break. We're going to talk a little bit about just, women empowerment. And I personally think that the term like badass and beautiful, like you are the queen of that. So I want to touch a little bit on that kind of topic with you. My first question there is going to be, what would you say to a young girl getting behind the boat for the very first
I actually get that question a lot, which
time?
is funny.
I knew when I was like, oh, she's probably been asked that before.
Um, I would probably tell a young girl to believe in herself, first of all, because if you just believe in yourself, you can do anything. And I know that sounds cliche, but having self-confidence goes such a far way. Um, and just enjoy it, like enjoy every step of the way, whether that's being on a wakeboard or just life itself, because it's a lot more enjoyable to be like present through the experience than be like stressed out or like
Mhm.
worried about anything that you're going through.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
All the young girls out there listening, take that advice.
I mean, I could probably take that advice myself sometimes.
Any girl out there, anybody ever, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But another question I have for you more specifically is just being such a successful female athlete in a pretty male dominant sport, what has that taught you just in life as in general?
That's a good question. um, I would say that's taught me to really like believe in myself, like having confidence. Like it's taught me to have a lot of confidence because
Mhm.
it can be a little intimidating being in a
Totally.
male dominant sport, and it's just important to like have that confidence.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
I don't know. I mean, I don't it's I think it's taught me to be like very professional
Totally.
where I can be. Um because like when you are the only girl in a room full of guys, you have to be professional.
Totally. I feel like, yeah, it's crazy. Like you feel like you have to like almost like stand your ground in a way.
Totally.
You know what I
That's
mean?
exactly what it is
Yeah.
sometimes.
Like just
It could be tricky, but I don't know. I feel like I've learned to like use my voice a lot
totally. Yeah, yeah.
and like not take shit from any of the
Don't
guys.
yeah, seriously.
Because, like I don't really deal with that anymore.
Totally. That's
Um,
good.
yeah, so it's yeah, it's good.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Oh, this one I'm really excited to ask you about. Your breast cancer survivors day on the water. What inspired you to do that?
So I actually don't have any like direct ties to breast cancer.
Okay,
Um, but what inspired me really was, I guess, going back to the last question, women empowerment
totally.
and wanting to spend time with women that have gone through a lot more than just dealing with, I guess, like men in an industry.
Yeah,
So
totally. Totally.
yeah, just I mean, like the breast cancer survivors are so strong and
Mhm.
so cool, and being around them it like empowers me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think it's such a cool event, and hanging out with them is just really awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome event. It's so wonderful that, people like you kind of use the opportunity that you have to give people that don't have that opportunity such a special day in their lives.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And like when they get out on the water for the first time and experience that, it is so
Totally.
cool. And they are just like so hyped up on it. It's
Yeah,
so awesome. And then we do yoga and have a cool lunch, and
that is so cool.
all the ladies from that are just like really inspiring.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, last question in this category. Let's see. We kind of touched on it with like what you'd say to, like a young girl, but
Mhm.
what message like are you most passionate about sharing with women in wakeboarding or girls maybe getting into the wake industry?
I would say like women support women,
Totally. Yeah,
like make friends with the girls that you ride with. I mean, community is so important, and having like those friends
yeah,
is what really makes it such a cool experience, and uplift each other, um and just like try to inspire each other.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to build each other up, otherwise we got to be the strongest out of everybody.
exactly. It's
Hmm.
just so helpful in like the longevity of things.
Totally, I love that answer. That's awesome. Okay, moving into a new category about competing. My first question there is, what is your mindset like when it comes to competing?
um well, I probably come off as like, a lot of people tell me I come off as like very like sweet and
Yeah, for you
like,
have a very like soft spoken voice,
yes,
like very
everybody
just
says that
nice.
I'm like very soft spoken. But when I'm competing, I'm definitely a lot more serious. Or like
Totally.
when I'm out on the water, I'm like very focused.
Hmm.
I have a mindset of like wanting to do really well, so I try to like
Totally.
prep myself for that and be in a like a really good headspace, because if you're not, that's when things could like, I guess, like snowball effect,
Totally. Totally.
and and just not go well in
Hmm.
competition. But it's just really important to be on on the whole
Totally.
time.
Yeah. On like a competition day, do you have any like weird, like little like rituals or things that you do beforehand?
I really try not to follow like a specific routine. Like
Hmm.
I think when I was younger, I used to wear the same board shorts at every event because I was like superstitious like that.
Hmm.
But no, I like over the past couple of years, I've been really just trying to enjoy my time at the contest and like the
Yeah.
people that I'm with, not trying to stress out about it as
Hmm.
much. Because at the end of the day, it's like more important, like the
Totally.
people that you're with there.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I try to just eat really healthy, clean when I'm competing, go to bed at a good time,
Mhm.
um, stretch, maybe meditate a little bit and
Totally.
visualize, just like get myself good to go.
Awesome. That's awesome. I used to listen to Hell's Bells before every soccer game when I was little. So that's my
Oh
weird
my
ritual.
gosh, that's awesome.
I'd like be in the back of the car, like hyping myself up.
I do listen to music too a little bit,
Yeah.
like hype music for sure.
Do you have a specific hype song?
Um, I think it changes like depending
Totally.
on what the song, like
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
I'm really into the Justin Bieber song Peaches, so that would probably be like my
Some
song.
bop.
It's just so random. It's not like a specific song. It's like whatever I'm feeling
Totally.
at
Totally.
the time.
What's his song? Started listening. Oh, it's like a throwback, but the song "Love Me." I don't know why it gets me hyped in the morning for work, but like I'm in my car just fist pumping until I get here.
That is a hilarious. Wait, I actually want to go listen to that song after this, just because I
Right.
haven't listened to that song in so long.
Like it makes me, I'm like ready to rage when I hear it. I don't know why.
I'm listening to it after this.
Perfect. We'll move on from Justin Bieber. We'll talk. I want to touch on the Moxie Pro series. What was, it was such an amazing event for women and women's wakeboarding. And I just love to hear kind of your side about what it was like competing in an all women's event like that.
It is just such a cool feeling being in an all women's event, because back to what I was saying earlier, like if I was giving a younger girl advice, like going into wakeboarding, it's the same thing. Like all of these girls were just uplifting each other, hyping each other up, and just really trying to grow the sport of women's
Yeah.
wakeboarding. Um, and it's awesome. I mean, all the lines that the girls were doing for the event, the videos, like they were all just so great, like so strong, and the tricks in them were insane as well.
Yeah.
So I loved the event, and I definitely want to do more like that in the sport,
Mhm.
and do more with the women together.
Totally.
Try to grow women's wakeboarding.
Yeah. I like even here at the shop, most of the guys are the ones I go out and wakeboard with. And I'm always like, oh, like I want a girl out here with me. I feel like I'm always the only girl. So it's so cool to see events like that where it gives me just like this. I'm hyped on watching professional wakeboarding, but not only that, it's women's professional wakeboarding. And it hits closer to home for me. So it's really awesome.
I love that. That's so awesome. Well, hopefully you can find like a girl wakeboarder close to you, and you can have a girl to ride with.
I know. I'll have like customers will come in and I'll talk. They'll be like, "Oh, this is for my daughter. She's, your age," type of stuff. I'm like, "Well, do you want to give her my phone number? Like we could hang out."
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But that's awesome. Like that's what you need to do to
Totally.
or you could just come to Orlando and wakeboard with us.
That'd be great. I would never say no to that. That sounds so fun.
Totally.
Okay, we'll touch on the next question. You have given so much to the sport of wakeboarding. I would love to know, I'm sure as everybody else that's going to listen to this is, what has it given to you?
Well, my life would probably be so different if I never started wakeboarding. It's given me so many great friends that I'll probably have for the rest of my life. Like I met Guenther through wakeboarding, and that's amazing. I have amazing sponsors and like so many cool opportunities. I've been able to travel the world and just do so many cool things that I'm just so grateful. And I don't know, it's a really cool sport, and I think being able to travel, that's been one of the coolest things that it's given me, because traveling is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately with COVID, we haven't really been able to travel, but but when I do overseas, it's just amazing. Like I love experiencing new cultures and just seeing new places.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's just, it takes you so much farther than just like the lake or the river or wherever you go. It takes you all over the world. That's so cool.
I'm so grateful for that. Like, and I just want to continue to travel like after I retire from wakeboarding one day and
Totally.
just keep
Yeah.
that going.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Okay, one more question in this little kind of category is that you've accomplished a lot in your years as a pro athlete, and you are really young for that. So, do you have a next kind of big goal that you're shooting for to accomplish in the next year or so?
Yeah, I definitely have a couple goals. I kind of am keeping them to myself.
That's fine. Yeah, you're okay.
Just because they're like I have like personal goals, but also goals in wakeboarding as well. Um, Also, I want to continue to help grow women's wakeboarding.
Yeah.
That's another big goal of mine, and to keep trying to push for equality, use my voice, and hopefully just bring more opportunities to the table for us.
I love it. That's awesome. I appreciate it as well as I know every other girl out there that rips on a board does too. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Well, trying.
No pressure or anything. Okay. This is my favorite part of every interview I do. It's the special guest question section. And you are not only the first girl we have on here, but you are the first guest to have not one, but two special guest questions.
Oh, cool.
The first one is from Guenther. So we will pull it up, and I'm gonna like hold it by my ear. Hopefully you can hear it. If not, we'll figure out how to fix it. But
what's up, Meg? It's Guenther. Hope the interview's going well for you. But I just have a quick question, and that is, what happened the first time I asked you out on a date? Let the people know. I'll talk to you later.
Did you hear it?
What happened when he first asked me out on a date? Was that the question?
Yes.
Oh gosh, we have like such a history. Okay. This was actually a year before we started dating. It was probably a month after Guenther and I met, but we were riding a lot, hanging out a lot. And we went out on the boat to wakeboard, and I had like such a bad set. I was so pissed. And then after we got off the boat, he came up to me and was like, "Hey, so I was wondering if like you wanted to go out to dinner with me on Valentine's Day."
Whoa, he shot big.
And I was like, I just like don't really seem like that.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And then that was kind of it pretty much for another year, and then we started dating, but it was funny, but I kind of felt
That's hilarious. He clawed his way through the friend zone. He's like, no.
Yeah, he did not stop fighting.
Oh
And here
my
we are
God.
5 years later.
That's so adorable. Damn, Valentine's Day. That's crazy. I bet you were like,
I guess wasn't really expecting it.
Yeah, seriously. That put me, I'd literally be like, whoa, that's so funny.
Oh, and also I was in high school too, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm a senior in high school, like not really ready for this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on 5 years together. That is so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. I have one more question, and let's see. I wonder if I can find it. Okay. It is from, I might say it wrong because I don't know if it's okay. Emily Durham or Durham.
Durham.
Durham. Okay. I never know with names. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Megan. So as a former wakeboarder myself, I have a question for you. How do you keep your drive? So many people think that wakeboarding is very glamorous, that you're always traveling and going to competitions and doing all these cool things and getting free stuff, which is part of it. But the day-to-day stuff that makes you the best, how do you keep going when you don't feel like it, when you are tired or you're sore or it's cold out or you don't want to fall again really hard? what keeps you going, and what is your driving motive to just make yourself a better rider?
Aw, yeah, I love that. She is.
She's so cute.
Yes, I miss her. That's such a good question. I really like that. Yeah, I mean, she is so right. Like it's a glamorous job for sure, and like it seems that way, but it has its tolls as well. Like when it's cold or when you're just not feeling it or you're tired. But I would say my drive is like coming up with new goals, new motivations or ways to like motivate myself and work towards those goals. And also wakeboarding isn't just like something that I do, it's my job. And
Totally.
I'm just one of those people that I really want to be good at my job, and I want to strive and like keep moving up in my job, and I don't want to just stay at one spot, you know.
Totally. Totally.
I just want to keep accomplishing new goals, and try to diversify myself as much as possible and just work hard. So
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, some days it's hard. It's weird because like we technically like work for ourselves, you know, like work at home. Like we have all these different sponsors, and you're the only one in charge of being productive. You
Yeah,
know?
that's a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so used to it.
Mhm.
But I want to keep good relationships, and yeah, I just want to be good at my job. So.
Yeah. I think you're badass at your job. So, you mentioned some sponsors. I love to give everybody the platform to shout them out on here. So if you want to do that, go ahead and give them a holler.
So big shout out to all my sponsors. Liquid Force, I've actually been with them 9 years.
Wow.
They're my longest sponsor. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then Red Bull, Mastercraft, Body Glove, Nomadics. They're actually one of my newer sponsors.
Yeah.
ND Wellness, I've been working at the gym with those guys, and also Performance Ski and Surf. Those guys are awesome. They're one of my longer sponsors as well.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're one of the few riders that I follow really closely, but I've noticed that you have so many sponsors. Is maintaining those sponsorships, does it come easily, or does it feel like a little bit of work too? Because I know you mentioned relationships and stuff like that.
I mean, I guess it really depends on like the time of the season. Photo shoots, traveling for clinics and all that sort of stuff. But also it comes down to like time management, being able to do everything that you need to do, and make sure you're doing all your obligations.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it could be like the more sponsors you have, the more they require, like the more you have.
Yeah, totally.
Like, lots of things to do. But all my sponsors are really, really amazing, and they like really understand me, and we just all of us work really well together.
Totally. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I have one final question, and it's just a fun one. I would love to know, if you weren't a professional wakeboarder in another life, if you had nothing to do with wakeboarding, what would you do for your career?
Oh, that's actually, so it's crazy because I feel like a lot of people are always like, oh, so like what's next for you? You know, I get that question a lot. And I'm like, I don't know what's next, because I feel like if there was like a what's next, like job, that would probably be what I would be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'd go into real estate, or
Okay.
I actually go to college. Like I'm slowly picking away at it. I'm actually just about to finish up with my associate's degree.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm transferring to UCF, which will be exciting. And I'm gonna go for business and marketing.
Nice.
But I don't know. I mean, I love nutrition, so maybe a nutritionist.
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah, that question's hard too, because I went to school and I studied public health, and now I work in a wakeboard shop. And I'm like, I'm never leaving. I love it here. Like, this is the industry for me. So it just, you never know. And it's hard to tell because, yeah, you could say maybe you're going to do something, but life changes each and every day. So
That's exactly. But also I have like the best job in the world.
yeah.
So it's hard to think about anything else you'd want to do when you get to live this life. So
Totally. Every time that question gets brought up at like a family event of mine, my aunt always says that she'd be a linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks, get one good takedown and then retire.
I should come up with something more creative and like good.
That would just totally shock people. They'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. I'd be a pro surfer would be pretty cool, or
Sick.
I don't know. I just love sports, and I think pro athletes are amazing. And
Oh yeah.
if I wasn't a pro wakeboarder, I'd probably want to be another pro athlete in
Totally.
like a different industry.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my last question. So we are going to wrap up the interview. Thank you so much for being here. I'm
You're
so excited
welcome.
for this to go live. It's going to be so fun. So
You
thank
too.
you so
You're
much for joining us.
Of course, this was fun. It was.
I'm
nice
glad
to
we did
meet
it.
you.
It was so nice to meet you, and hopefully we'll meet in person one day.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if you guys are doing any events or anything. I mean, my summer is like really busy, but
Yeah.
maybe a boat show or something I can come out.
Oh, that'd be so sick. That'd be
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you ever come to Orlando, just let me know.
Okay, I'll send you an email.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you so much, Megan. Have a good rest of your day.
You
We'll see you
too.
soon.
Talk to you
Bye.
later.